Welcome to G3, Games, Gadgets, and Guests, an audio and video podcast from 702 Communications. I'm your host, Brian Crommett. I've got another game episode for you, and if you're watching, you can see that there's no game box here in front of me, and that's because the title that I'm looking at today is Rebel Galaxy. And this isn't a brand new title. This has actually been out since October of 2015, but it's new to me. A buddy of mine was telling me that he was playing this great game called Rebel Galaxy, so I decided to check it out too. And there's a lot of cool things about it. If you remember our discussions about Artemis, it looks a lot like Artemis, and if you've ever been a fan of the Firefly / Serenity series, it mashes up both of those very interestingly. And for a cheap title, I've gotten a lot of play out of it already. So let's take a look at Rebel Galaxy. All right, so here we go. Here's Rebel Galaxy. Again, I was saying in the intro that it looks a lot like Artemis. Then I remembered that when we were doing that Artemis podcast, we didn't have video. So if you've never seen Artemis, it looks a lot like this. So again, the premise of this is that you are a smuggler. It's in this Western-style galaxy. Oh, and I see I've booted straight into a battle. So I've got an upgraded ship. I've been playing this game for about 20 hours now. It's set in this galaxy, like I say, where you're a smuggler, but you also find yourself partnering with the militia, or you can partner with a couple different criminal factions if you want. So a big part of this game is making sure that you've got the ship that fits your style of gameplay. This one has a number of turrets. It's got a good defenses, and so I've been enjoying this ship for quite a while. So if you're watching right now, you can see that I just destroyed some enemy ships, and there are some things floating out in space there that I have the option to tractor beam into my hold. So that was Narco Cola. There's munitions. There's some gold. So anything that you can find when you destroy an enemy ship, you can bring aboard your ship and then bring to another space station, and try to sell that. So you can do that. You can just fly around and shoot enemies and do that for as long as you want. But you've also got missions that you can pick up in every station that you visit, and there are a couple different guilds you can join. So it is fairly robust as far as gameplay or story or whatever. You can make it whatever you want, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Is you can be as involved or not in this game. So I've got a mission here. I'm going to acquire some hexite, so I'm going to engage my warp engines. As I was warping through space, I detected a distress signal, so I'm going to go ahead and check that out. Pan around here. Now, distress signals can be distress signals. Distress signals can also be traps. So you've got enemies that'll just try to lure you in. But one of the things your ship can do is you can send out like a radar pulse. And so here I am, and I see that I am walking into a fight here for sure. But I'm not too worried about this one, I don't think. So I've got my turrets auto-chack, my turret lasers auto-chack for these ships. They got to cut through the shields, and then you got to cut through the hull. And then when you do enough damage, the ship's destroyed. But at the same time, while you're doing that damage to the enemy ship, you got to make sure that they're not doing too much damage to your ship. And it doesn't matter if you bounce off an asteroid from time to time. They also set this game up to do battle broadside, just like naval combat, in the old days. You got it. So you've got these broadside guns. Oh, I just ran into an asteroid. But you got these broadside guns And if you want to do serious damage, you got to turn broadside and line up and fire your cannons essentially at your enemies. So go ahead and finish this guy off. We'll be back on our way to our mission. The game, like I say, it looks good. One of the things that bothers me about it is that you only fly on 2 planes. I can't climb or dive here. I'm on this flat plane, but once you get used to that, it's not a real big deal. All right, I'm going to send out one more pulse here. We've destroyed the enemy ships. And it looks like there's a couple things here that I still could pick up. Detected valuables tells me that. And also I'm seeing a blue blip on my radar now. That would be a friendly gunship. So I don't need to worry about that one. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and get back out of here. Oh, there's the cargo container. Let's see what they got for us. I got a new turret that's in storage now, and I salvaged some bio waste. I'm still gonna go. I'm gonna go ahead and engage my warp engine again, and let's go ahead and get onto a mission so you can see what one of those looks like. So again, it combines some aspects of several different games that I've always enjoyed. One of the things that it reminds me of is Sid Meier's Pirates. If you ever played that old pirating game, a big part of that game was picking up supplies as you travel about the Caribbean, and then selling those supplies in other places that were offering good prices for them. So that was a tie-in to that game that I really enjoy here. I'm going to go ahead and use a Stargate here, though it's not called a Stargate, I'm sure, for copyright reasons. So it's very interesting, the Rebel Galaxy. Like I say, it looks like Artemis. It feels like it's set in the Serenity Firefly, but then it's got Stargates and stuff like that too. So it really mashes up a lot of things that you're familiar with. But it like I say, it comes together as a pretty interesting, pretty entertaining game. And again, as you're flying around here, you'll get distress signals. You don't have to answer them. You can get away from them. It'll drop you out of warp anytime you get too close to a major stellar mass. It'll drop you out of warp anytime you're about to fly through a bunch of enemies. So it'll give you some opportunities. It'll make sure that you do have to drop out and encounter some things on your way to your primary mission. So it forces you into some side quests. And sometimes you can ignore them, and sometimes you can't. So I'm going to go ahead and go to this one. If we want to look to see what it is, I can open up my mission log. And this says protect Jack. And we've gotten a distress call. And for 22,000 credits, if we'll protect him, we'll get 22,000 credits. And so that works for me. I'll enjoy 22,000 credits so I can buy a new ship, or I can upgrade my weapons, or whatever. So we're going to go into this nebula here. Looks like we've got a threat level yellow, which means there's a bunch of ships here I need to take care of. And as long as I'm facing a bunch of little fighters with the ship that I have now, things work out pretty well. You get into fights with what they call capital class cruisers, which are big monstrosities. I have blown up before, and the nice thing is that you blow up. It brings you back to the last space station you were at. So every time you enter a space station, it saves your progress for you. So you're not starting all over you do get another chance at changing your tactics in a battle and what have you. So, like I say, it's a fun game. It's not high pressure. It's not a Battlefield 1 by any means, which is really high stress. It's just a good game. So that's the end of that mission. I helped this trader out. I killed all the bad guys, and I got my 22,000 credits. So I can, it can be as simple as that. So let me find the closest space station. Let me show you one of those quick. Waypoint set. Just open up my radar and select closest station. Selects that, and it looks like I'm 826 SM, which I'm assuming is space miles, to my next station. But let's go ahead and let's just jet over there, and I'll show you that quickly as well. The one thing that this doesn't have that I wish it did is some sort of multiplayer. But it's entertaining enough that my friends and I will go ahead and boot up these games on our own, start a PlayStation party, and we'll just chat with each other while we're playing our own game. So while it would be fun to be able to have that multiplayer element, it hasn't made me stop playing the game. So anyway, here I am at Chemstock Station. I can go into the equipment bay. I can refill my ordnance. I can refill my my missiles, my torpedoes, stuff like that. I can also change what weapons I've got installed in each of the different turret I have. I can change what kind of loadout. I can switch everything to a particle laser. All kinds of different upgrades you can do. Likewise with defense, you can change your hull plating, you can change your shields, you can change your deflector shields. I can add additional components. I can upgrade my engines. I can upgrade my booster engines. I can upgrade my warp drive. So there's all kinds of upgrades that you can do to your ship. And if you decide you're tired of your ship, just go to the shipyard and see what kind of ships you have available. I'm currently flying what's called a Scarab. My good friend says Manticore is the way to go. So once I have 3.5 million credits, I can go ahead and upgrade to that if I want. Or I can go with one of these carrier class ships like the McKinley or the Polaris, which have all kinds of guns, all kinds of ports, all kinds of hull class, all kinds of hold space. So again, depending on what kind of gameplay you want, there's a ship for that, and then you can customize that ship. Again, in this space station, I can go to the commodities market and see what they're paying a good price for yik yak meat. So I'm going to go ahead and sell that. If I wanted to, I could buy Narco-Cola for slightly under the system average here. I'm just going to get rid of mine because it is a contraband substance. And if I run across the militia and they scan me and they find that I have contraband, they could detain me. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm also going to get rid of, well, anyway. So you can make a determination on what you want to drop and what you want to buy, and you can play that game. You can also then go and visit the mission board, look for available missions, decide what you're interested in, and like this one is Sink the Dreadnought. It would get me 80,000 credits, which is a good way to make some money and buy some more of those upgrades. So anyway, that's just a quick look here at Rebel Galaxy. It's all like this, pretty much. You've got different stations. Like I say, there's different factions within the stations. They'll have different ships at different stations, and there's different galaxies you jump between. So there's a little bit more stuff everywhere you explore, and just a little bit different, but it's the same basic premise that this is the gameplay, and there is some story behind it. If you're interested in the story, you can get into that and you can progress through the storyline as well. But that's Rebel Galaxy. I've been having a good time playing it, and I think I'm going to continue to play it through the coming weeks and months. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the little look into Rebel Galaxy there. It's been a fun game so far, and I can see that there's a lot more worlds to it, and I can see a lot more time being spent on it. I got it on PS4. You can also get it on Steam. So if you're looking for a cheap game, go ahead and check out Rebel Galaxy. And that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. And as always, if you did, please tell your friends. Please subscribe. We are everywhere that you need to be to consume podcast content. We're on YouTube. We're on SoundCloud. We're on Stitcher. We're everywhere you need to be. So listen to this episode. Listen to more episodes. We'd love to see you keep coming back. Until next time, I'm Brian Cromit. This is G3. Game on.